DJ and PK, it's 97.5 KSL Sports Zone. We had Pete Souza on earlier this morning, Big 12 Radio. He does a show all about the Big 12, and we were talking with him about the Brendan Sorsby situation, the former Indiana and Cincinnati quarterback transferring to Texas Tech, but now allegations that he's gambling on his phone, and then it was in Indiana. He gambled on Indiana games. And so now there's all these stories about how he's going to get suspended. He's not going to be able to play this year. There is a chance that he goes to court and gets that lifted, so we don't know anything for sure. But if he is out, how much does this situation help the chances for BYU and Utah? And PK, just because it's a serious question with serious implications doesn't mean that the rivalry can't trump all these other things. Am I right?
It do.
Cheese Fries, who's a huge Ute fan, it doesn't help BYU. It pretty much guarantees Utah will make the Big 12 championship game.
I think it helps everybody.
First-string bench warmer at head bench warmer. For BYU, they don't need the help. For Utah, it won't matter. So there they are. We got that out of the way. The Utes and Cougars are both taking their shots at each other.
I think it helps for 15 teams. But I also think that this is not necessarily a devastating blow to what Texas Tech is trying to accomplish. Now, Sorsby is really good. I came back from last year talking with him at Big 12 Media Day and talking to others about him, that he's really good. And I like him. And if I were his people, I don't know. Depending on, does he want to stay because he's got the financial situation if he plays, and if he doesn't get that money. So that factors in it. But from a football standpoint, go ahead, take care of this rehabilitation or therapy, whatever you want to call it there. I don't know what it would be called. But go through that and make yourself eligible for the draft. They have that supplemental draft. And you have that opportunity, because I think he will make an NFL roster at some point and then go from there. So he can recoup that money in the NFL if he stays for a few years. But if he wants to fight it and Cody Campbell wants to get involved, whatever it might be, so be it. But just for the sake of argument, assuming that he's not going to be on the team, I don't necessarily think it's a devastating blow, but I do think it can potentially knock them down a peg, which therefore could improve the chances of the other contenders, whoever they might be. And as we sit here right now at the end of April, I do believe Utah and BYU will be competitors to get in that conference title game. And we were talking about this yesterday. Sign me up right now if the first Friday in December at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, it is BYU versus Utah. That would be absolutely awesome. I would take that all the time. Yeah. Maybe when I'm done working, that might be another story, but I'm not, and not intending to anytime soon. So with that in mind, I would love to see those two teams. And I think that it is a possibility, but it's no more of a possibility or any less of a possibility than probably about 10 other scenarios.
We do have plenty of people saying that this ups the chance of a BYU-Utah rematch in the conference title game.
I think
that
it
has
does.
occurred to multiple people.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, you said Utah and BYU are competitors, and I think that's a widely held view, that they are certainly both in the mix for the conference title game with Tech. But how much wider does that circle get? As far as Pete was talking at Baylor, I think Houston, off the improvement they made last year, you got to put them in the mix. What about the two Arizona schools?
I put them in the mix, yes.
Yeah. So now we're 7 deep for 2 spots.
Right.
And that's assuming that we're right. What if we're wrong and we're overlooking somebody?
Oh, well, I'm not necessarily done in my – you just asked me what about the two Arizonas.
Yep.
Right now, I would say yes. Now, recognizing that injuries could derail it and there could be one or both that when we get to November, the end of November, it's like, no, it didn't happen. I understand that. But we're looking at it right now, and I think those two teams, having gone 6-3 last year, deserve an opportunity to be respected as potential contenders.
If I've left a team out, I would think the next one I should mention would be TCU. I didn't mention them. That would be 8. That's half the league.
Yeah, and that's what
we saw ASU do the from the bottom of the league to the league champ thing 2 years ago. So maybe Rich Rod in the second year takes off.
There will be improvement. There was improvement last year as the season progressed within the actual season itself. There's no question. If you followed them, you would know that that team got better, and that team had a major overhaul in the manner that Oklahoma State is going to have that. So I think that what we saw with West Virginia last year, I think we're going to see Oklahoma State be in that category, although I think that Oklahoma State in their first year with everything new, and they've got the North Texas folks and the quarterback coming over, that they have an opportunity to be better than Oklahoma State was last year. So, I mean, they were a pushover, right? Big time pushover last year. It was a disaster. I think they will be wildly better. Now, what does that mean in terms of winning and losing or the records? I don't know. I don't want to say I have no clue, but it's too much up in the air. But I do think that instead of looking at, that's just about a guaranteed W, you won't have that this year. I think that many of these teams, Cincinnati always seems to be at least halfway decent. I don't see a lot of promise for Colorado, but maybe they shock the world.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
This year, experience the NHL playoffs your way. Want to watch a single? Do or die Game 7, a full week of heavy-hitting back-and-forth series. Then check out Sling's 1, 3, and 7-day passes. Watch the Chase for the Cup on ESPN and TNT, starting as low as $4.99. No long-term contracts or overpaying. Just live hockey at home or when you want it. Sling lets you do that. Visit sling.com to learn more.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
I think the thing that's happening with Oklahoma State, and they were 0-9 in league last year. I mean, just a complete mess. But I think they are banking on what we saw at Indiana. They bring in the North Texas coach. He brings a bunch of players with him. It's an immediate shift in attitude, culture, energy, whatever word you want to use. And nobody thought when Indiana went to James Madison to get a coach who brought along a bunch of players. Well, James Madison guys, they can't possibly be difference makers in the Big Ten. But they upped their game very quickly. Hard to believe Oklahoma State could hit in that way, but you know that's the recipe they're going for. And even if they don't make it, they could wreck somebody else along the way. Not Utah and BYU, because they don't play Utah and BYU.
I think they'll be a lot more competitive.
Yeah, but they play plenty of these other contenders. So
yeah, and I know this might sound harsh, or not harsh, but stupid. I think that it was easier for Indiana, not last year, but the first year of Cignetti, it was easier for them to do what they did in the Big Ten than it would be in the Big 12. And you may say, wow, the Big Ten, blah, blah, blah. The Big Ten is extremely top-heavy.
Yes.
And then once you got past maybe fourth place on down, it was a lot more manageable. And there's so much mediocrity. The Big Ten basically is a conference of mediocrity. And I know that's shocking to say, but
how else do you describe Nebraska? Yeah. And Wisconsin wants to get back to mediocrity. Penn State wants to get back to mediocrity. Now, 2 years ago, they were good when Indiana was good.
Yeah.
But they were bad last year.
I think when you're looking at, you know what I mentioned, a team like Wisconsin and Michigan State.
Purdue,
those teams
Michigan
have had
State,
their runs,
yeah.
but they've been down of late, obviously.
Purdue and Michigan State are pretty messed up.
I think that
right now.
the Big 12, the strength is in the balance to be able to do what they did. You look at Indiana and Ohio State last year, both go undefeated, and Oregon loses one. Well, Texas Tech, it was hard for them to go undefeated. I mean, they lost a game. That's the nature of this conference. I think it's a little bit deeper in terms of talent. Maybe it doesn't have the supreme talent, and that's what you want to be on the national stage, have the high flyers. I understand that. But that's what makes, for me as a fan, that's make this conference fun. But I do think that there might be an opportunity for somebody to catch fire and have the level of success that can have them be ranked in the top 10 most of the season, or ranked in the top 8 when the committee starts doing its first poll. Was that the end of October? Is that what they do it? Somewhere around Halloween?
Yep.
Do their thing. Yeah. I think there's an opportunity. And I think both locals have that opportunity, particularly if the Cougars are knocking off Notre Dame.
I was about to say, these non-conference games, we'll know early on whether the league is setting itself up or not. Texas Tech doesn't really have a big non-conference
It does not.
game.
It absolutely does not.
Utah has Arkansas. BYU Notre Dame is obviously a big opportunity.
Well, it's the premier one.
Yeah. Houston doesn't really have an opportunity. So,
No, it's Notre Dame.
yeah.
It's Notre Dame in Provo.
And probably the next best game, ASU and Texas A&M.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Iowa plays Iowa State every year. So there's an opportunity because I think Iowa is that second tier of the Big Ten. Iowa, Illinois, USC.
Yeah, but October 17th, if the Cougars should find a way to be undefeated and Notre Dame's coming to town, that's going to be as big a game as you're going to have in terms of attention and all that stuff. Now, it's not going to be something that, I can say, oh, my gosh, they are going to be undefeated because they got to go to TCU. They play Iowa State. Arizona's going to be tough. They play Arizona in the second week of the season. So right off the bat there, that first conference game is going to be difficult because I think Arizona's going to be good. I expect them to be good. They were good last year, and I see no reason why they're not good. And then, they've got some tough games. That's a pretty good schedule for what the Cougars have.
But Notre Dame should be undefeated, right? I mean, their schedule just doesn't look that hard.
You want to talk about a
this year.
schedule that's cake? Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah. All those teams we were talking about that are negotiable. Wisconsin, Michigan State, Purdue. Are you going crazy over those three?
Well, I want to see. You got some new stuff there at Michigan State. See how that plays out.
How about Rice, North Carolina?
No, I
and
mean
Stanford?
it's Miami, but that's after the fact of playing by BYU.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's 6-0 when they
and that Miami thing.
BYU.
When they get to that, that's not until November. That they will have the situation where Miami, you kept us out, blah blah blah. So that's going to be a lot of hoopla when we get to that point, and it's in November when college football really starts to raise. But yeah, you can make a case that Notre Dame would be that situation. I would love to see it. Have both those teams coming in, and they're going to start. BYU now is going to start fairly high in the ranking because of the fact that they've won double-digit games the last 2 years, and the Bears coming back.
If both of those teams are undefeated, you're looking at a top 10 at worst showdown.
I would say so. I would agree with that. Yes, that would at worst. Yeah, maybe, and it depends on what happens with other teams.
Yeah, but it could be top 5 type deal as well.
Yeah, if it broke your way, that possibly could be. And that would be potentially the premier game of the week. And I haven't looked and see what October 17th is, and nor will I. We'll wait because it's pointless.
There's a lot that can happen.
There's a million things that can happen between now and then.
But if it's undefeated Notre Dame, it's pretty close to the list of premier games.
Yeah, I would say
further.
that chance that game, if that's the case, where both teams are undefeated, I think that chance has a chance to be sold out in Provo.
Nah, nice. I thought you were going to say game dad, and now you're going to go with sold out.
Sold out.
Yeah, I think there's a chance.
Standing room only. Got
I
it.
think there's Jason Buck may get his wish. They may expand to 80,000.
Temporary bleachers in the corners.
Why not? Money to be made.
I totally agree. And Jason's just sitting over there. I've been saying it for a long time. I think more luxury suites around the top rim of the stadium like Lambeau Field.
Well, then put them in.
I know, right? Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one thing the Catholics and the Latter-day Saints know, it's money, right? There's money to be had there, man. Yeah, absolutely. That would be something. And I would love to see it. I'd absolutely love to see it. Pencil me down. I may cover that game. I think there's about a 99.9% chance I'll cover that game.
There you go. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We got to take a break. When we come back, we have some concert tickets to give away. So that's on the way. And I'm sure by then we'll have people tweeting at us about whatever the big games are on October 17th. I'm sure the Cougar fans are already scoping out whether they can get game day here or not for a BYU Notre Dame game. DJ and PK, we'll get to all of that. And hockey playoffs. It's Game 5 tonight. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to Las Vegas. It's Game 5 in a 2-2 series. What is going to happen? Any ideas? We'll talk with Ken Bulkey. Sinbin Vegas, talking NHL playoffs, 9 o'clock right here on The Zone.
This year, experience the NHL playoffs your way. Want to watch a single, do or die Game 7, a full week of heavy-hitting back-and-forth series? Then check out Sling's 1, 3, and 7-day passes. Watch the Chase for the Cup on ESPN and TNT, starting as low as $4.99. No long-term contracts or overpaying. Just live hockey at home or when you want it. Sling lets you do that. Visit sling.com to learn more.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.